Hi, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Marcus here. Again, let me ask you the question. Who benefits from a righteous life, a righteous way of living? Who benefits? Well, as a social scientist and one who spent a lot of time dealing with that particular question, I'd have to say that everybody benefits. But those that have nothing benefits the most. Benefits the most. Until you get to the riches, they will probably benefit the least. And the reason that they would probably benefit the least is because all of the other things they already got, they've already possessed. The reason those who lacked received the most is because they had space, they had gaps to fill, Now, I'm saying that flippantly, but it is to benefit everyone. It's a wonderful thing to have an understanding about life that brings satisfaction, completeness to anyone. To you, for instance, to know that you have a purpose and you're satisfied with that purpose, you know who you are and what you are about. You have at your disposal a career, something that you have chosen to do, and you chose it because you get your greatest joy out of exercising it. You get your greatest joy when you do it. And you do it. And because you do it, along with everybody else in a nation doing the same likewise, it's similar to many nations when they get in trouble and they're going to have to fight a war. They have a draft. Sometimes they demand that people stay registered, stay connected. Well, this is one of those essential things of living and of life that the people have decided, chosen, and guaranteed to themselves. That each one would have available to them purpose that they choose, purpose that they get a chance to filter out and say, that's me, and do their thing. Do their thing, ladies and gentlemen. And while they do their thing, it is connected in such a way, because it is actually something that we don't understand. We've never done it before. We might have done groups doing this and doing that, but as a nation of people doing that hasn't happened. But now we are. And while we are doing our thing, loving what we are doing, it is interconnected by design, by that power that made it, that designed it this way. That what is actually taking place, the things that the people, we the people, have determined are essential for our survival, are those things that something we just want, need, or desire, or things that we haven't imagined yet, but in time. The resources to do any and all of these different things have been given, made available to us free. Well, we didn't know what we were going to need. We didn't even know about anything. But now we know about all of this, everything that's to be known about this. And what we are doing, we are creating food and clothing and shelter and healthcare and education. We're doing these things, infrastructure, transportation, and any and all the things, the spaceships, the Jaguars, the anything. And we're doing it in such an abundance, ladies and gentlemen. Doing it in such an abundance that not one individual citizen in this nation who has a need, a want, or a desire of any of that which is made manifest on this nation can be denied to anyone. In other words, you have created your own heaven and you're living your own heaven. What you're doing, you're living in peace. That's divine. You're living free. That's divine. You're prosperous. That's divine. You're joyous. That's divine. You're happy. That's divine. And you're not just dreaming about a life, you are living the life. That's absolutely divine. Yes, your needs, your wants, and your desires are met at your pleasure. And not a single one of you are pissed off at anybody. Not a single one of you have to lie, have to cheat, have to steal, have to hate, have to be a racist, have to cause poverty and crime and violence and terror and war, separation, division, ugliness. Have to do none of that. None of it at all. Now, think about that for a second. This being offered to the American people at a time when we were going through all of this stuff with Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and Republicans and Democrats and conservatives and liberals, and we want our side to win. So it's like, it's not about us, the people, anymore. It's like a football team against another football team, like the south side of town against the north side of town, and they're strategizing. And in the process, people are being hurt and abused, but nobody cares because it's about the power structure that has been designed that's meshed with you, the people. Isn't that something, ladies and gentlemen? You know, but the amazing thing, as I think about what is taking place here in the United States of America, everybody knows Donald Trump is representing evil. Not just America, the whole world knows it. Straight up evil. And he's doing all kinds of things. He's saying all kinds of things that if you don't keep a match on him, he will mess you up. He's telling you that. Now that's bad, but let me tell you what's even worse. What's worse is you, the people. What kind of people are you that can know what kind of evilness, big ball of evilness that this is, and how he is manipulated and got people working with him, got people strategizing how they're going to cheat and steal and try to take this election. If you know, whether you want him or not, they're going to take it. And I'm wondering, what kind of people are those of you who would just say, doggone it, pissed off, but fall in line because that's the Democratic way? How many of you are like that? Well, I would tell you, most of you are like that. I almost would say 100%, but one or two of you aren't like that. But for the most part, you all are like that. Why? Because you're not free. You've been fed gossip. That's not that word I wanted to use. You've been fed garbage. Straight up garbage. Designed to do exactly what it's done. And it has not been designed to free you. None of that has been designed to free you. Not the government, not the system, not religion. None of it has been designed to free you. It has been designed to control and manipulate you. But freedom is still there. But freedom does not come from people telling you stuff like this. I mean, for the most part. Most of the time, everything is about a lie. One who has been freed walks in freedom. They don't just talk freedom. They stand and give life to freedom. And this, my friends, has a purpose that I'll share with you, hopefully, a little later on if I don't forget it. So, when you're thinking, what kind of people are you that would allow that to happen? Well, you are a people expressive of your teaching. You speak English because you were taught English, not French. You act the way you act because you were taught crookedness, not fairness and justice. You don't know anything about that. They had to pass laws to try to force you to do a simulation of that. Donald Trump has proven to all of America that his fate as he is, as fake as he is. Now, as one who wants to live the life that I described, I can't help believing that every human being on the face of the earth would like to live that life. I realize that there are people living today who wants to cause pain, who freaks out on causing pain, who gets off on causing pain. But even that, I believe, was learned. I don't know for sure, but I believe it was learned. How be that as it may, you who are above that, you who are decent, you who know the path to life, who walk as the sun shines, are not called to do those evil things. You can only do that because you aren't real. You only do that because you aren't real. Now, I'm speaking out of everybody, especially those who are caught up with religion. I'm going to tell you like I was given it. Y'all can read the scripture and say what you want to say. You're not going to be caught up in the sky, raptured, nothing like that. No. You're given an opportunity to create your heaven or your hell. Now, you can play these games, but the evidence of the reality is all around us. And we know this is hell. There's nothing close to heavenness here. Just because you can go to a beach and go to a swimming pool that looks nice and you got some scenery that's nothing about heaven. I mean, heaven is beautiful, sure. But it's what makes you feel that beauty outside, inside. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about heavenly. And see, once you walked into that, you're not falling back over there. No pastor, no law gonna force you back into that. There's no putting guns in somebody's hands talking about doing this to you that's gonna force you back into that. You realize that this is that time when you are being challenged. Are you changed or are you remaining the same? There it is. Are you changed or are you remaining the same? You're not going to be going up in no cloud because you good. No. You stand the test of time. And they blow your brains out because you're real. Yes, they kill you because you are real. Now, does that mean everybody died? No. It just means that if you're real, chances are you're going to be killed. Yeah, we got evidence of that. Not that many get killed now. Well, I should say maybe all of them get killed, but it's not that all is just not that many. In America, we know a few. We know Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King, and we know Malcolm X and Medgar Evers, and I'm sure there have been several others. A lot of times people say Abraham Lincoln or John Brown or John F. Kennedy. Now, I don't know about those. They got killed. I don't know what they were killed for. I know what Dr. King, Malcolm X, and Medgar Evers were killed for. They were killed for justice. They were killed for righteousness. Now, any of you out here thinking you got something going, you can call yourself a mega preacher, mega churches, got so much money, congregation giving you so much tithes and offering, living large as you want to live. Swing your hand like that in the crowds, by the hundreds just pass out. Blow like that and they just pass out and healed, but they aren't. No, that's game. Nothing but straight up game. Especially, you can't hide it because there's poverty, there's crime, there's violence, there's hatred, there's racism, there's bigotry, there's dissension, all of this going on. Changed people can't accept that, won't accept that. So when I come to you and say that voting Republican or Democrat is not the answer, truth is the answer. Truth is the answer. Now, When it comes down to the Constitution is like a game book. It tells you the rules and regulations and how this game is going to be played. That's it. That's exactly what the Constitution does. Now, you have other things that set you up and get you tied to the Constitution. Now, being tied to the Constitution is saying that you accept that. But most of us as Americans didn't make any agreement with the Constitution. We were just born. We were just born here. And somehow, before you get it all tied up, you're going to find yourself tied and connected to the Constitution. And that Constitution does not permit you, my friend, to serve anything else outside of itself to the degree that it brings any negativity to its existence, to the system's existence. In other words, you are permitted to do stuff that promotes the status quo. You are permitted to do stuff that is aligned with the status quo. But as far as enlightenment, as far as talking about changes, about correcting stuff, no, it's not about that at all. For instance, wow, I talked a real long time, but I'm just saying these things just because you may never hear me again. What do you think money is used for? Money is used to do everything I just got through talking about. Money is used to replace all that stuff that you have free. All that stuff that's been made in such an abundance that you'll never have to suffer for anything. Well, money is saying the same thing. This money will allow you to do all of that. Here's the problem. The other way to receive things is that you engage yourself in the process by doing something that you love doing. No. Now you got to work, whether you like it or not, to get that money, to do some of those things that you were given to do free. The masses will never get enough money to do all of those things, to have available to them all of those things at one time, whether they want to use them at that time or not. You'll never have that, not with money. That's designed to keep you like that. In everything that you do, money is involved in it. And you can't escape it. Everything that you do that money is involved in it is corrupted. Business, corrupted. Church, corrupted. Everything, corrupted. But the righteous change. And nobody's playing games. You've been lied to because they just didn't know any other way to say the things that they say. They gave you their best shot. But I say, once you have had the opportunity to experience your heaven, making your own heaven, and you decide not to engage in that, you decide not to engage in that, what happens? What should happen? Now, I'm not going to tell you what God said, because I don't know if God told me. I'm not going to try to tell you what the scripture said, because that's just somebody else talking. But what I am going to tell you is me. Just me right here. If I had the kind of power, if I was in that position, and we here Americans had the opportunity to live the kind of life that I described to you when I first started talking, we had that opportunity to live that kind of life, and many people here just rejected it. And the masses of the people were so free that they were willing to go through whatever evil is brought at them to pass that test, not to yield. It might be getting killed, but if the masses were doing it, it probably wouldn't have to be getting killed. It'd probably be something much easier and simpler than that. But they would willingly be laying down their lives for that. And because, my friend, so if they're willingly laying their lives down like that, what would happen to those people who wanted to continue to divide, to deceive and lie and cheat and cause poverty and crime? What would happen to those people? Just me. If I had They wouldn't be going to heaven if the good people who are loving and like I just described, if they were taken to heaven, there is no way on earth or in heaven that those crooked were going to come to heaven too. Going to be mixed up there with the heavenly host. You were on earth with them, mixed with on earth, and you were murdering them because they wouldn't bend to you. They wouldn't bow to your way. You were murdering them. If they were going to heaven, now they going to bring the murderers to heaven too? No, my friends. What I would do, I would probably find some place that you could, like outcast, or maybe put them in a strange, distant land, or maybe put them on a different planet, you know, something similar to Earth. Even something like that. All of the crooked people, all of the people who just couldn't accept righteousness, who just couldn't accept justice, who couldn't accept fairness. Now all those crooked people, I put them all over on that earth. And I would give them a chance to live according to their own will, doing and learning as they go. Being divided, whatever they have to go through it until they decide what is real and what is not. And when they decide what is real and what is not, they'll know it. Why? Because those who did not see it would make sure that those who sees it get the hell out, because they're going to shoot them, they're going to kill them, they're going to do something. They're not welcome there. But then they would have passed the test. Then they can go to heaven. You pass the test. You get a PhD. You're not going to, what are you going to do with your PhD? You know you want to hang with the PhDs. You know what I'm saying? So, this is, I hope, something that means something to you, because that's the way I almost, you know, like I said, I don't know what God is doing, what God's plan is, but I do know this. I do know this. What's good for the gander is good for the goose. And what is right. And there's a difference between what's right and what's not right. And ain't no games being played. So who would benefit from a righteous life? Everyone would benefit from a righteous life. But those who got nothing would benefit the most, because they got everything to gain. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.